Hey everyone, welcome to Flare Fact Fridays. This week we are going to be talking about brain fog, which is probably one of the most frustrating parts of having lupus. So let's get started. So, as with every week, we're going to touch on one of the many flares that living with lupus can present. And so, we're going to go over what it is, how it shows up, what might trigger it, as well as how to manage, limit, or even prevent some of it. And if there is a flare you would like me to go over, please comment or message me, and I would absolutely love to dive into that for you. So, like I said, this week is on brain fog, and we will get started. So, what is brain fog? The technical term is cognitive dysfunction. We usually refer to it as brain fog. It's a common symptom of lupus that makes it hard to focus clearly, find the right words, or even just have clear thoughts. It can show up as something as forgetfulness, confusion, maybe difficulty concentrating, or that weird moment that I think a lot of us experience, whether we have lupus or not, where you walk into a room and you just can't remember why you're here. But that is very common. So this can be a result of inflammation that can affect your central nervous system. So when I talk about central nervous system, I'm talking about your brain and your nerves. And that inflammation combined with the fatigue, your pain, your stress, maybe even some medications that we're taking can cloud your ability to process information. So that's where we get that brain fog in. So you're not lazy or losing it. Your body is just trying to work overtime. And so that can limit our ability to think clear. So, what this looks like, I've kind of already mentioned it. So, difficulty concentrating or focusing, or even having some confusion, fatigue, forgetfulness. Kind of sounds like the whole saying of I'm just getting older, but unfortunately, it can be more prevalent in those with lupus. So, losing your train of thought, feeling like you're just mentally exhausted and just cannot take in anything else. Also, your slow thought process, reaction time, and even trouble paying attention. So, that's some of the ways it can be presented. And then, with that, that leads to frustration and anger and just being annoyed, even embarrassed. I know when I have trouble with this kind of stuff, sometimes I feel very isolated and I don't really want to do anything because I'm afraid I'm either going to forget something, I'm going to screw something up, or I'm going to mess something up. So, this can also lead to depression as well. So, possible triggers of brain fog can be hormonal changes. Specifically, I'm speaking to those in like pregnancy or menopause, like the really significant changes that people will experience, as well as lack of sleep. Sleep is so important for healing and feeling rested and really trying to eliminate that fatigue, and that works on our brain as well. So, that is something that's super important, as well as good nutrition. So, poor nutrition can lead to this brain fog being even worse. So, too much sugar sends the brain on kind of this roller coaster ride and doesn't allow you to be able to really focus on what you're doing. Also, MSG is a known neurotoxin. So, limiting products that have a lot of that in it would also help as well. Stress obviously doesn't help anything as far as lupus goes, but especially with the brain fog as well. And then any long hospital stays. So, any time that you are just down for the count and just unable to really engage in what is going on and your body is just overly exhausted or medicated, that can also be a possible trigger. Medically speaking, um, most of the triggers for diagnosis wise are lupus, MS, and fibromyalgia. A lot of us with lupus have multiple autoimmune. Some of these are included, and so you're just adding to that pile of possible triggers for this. Diabetes, as well as low blood sugar or hypoglycemia, can also lead to brain fog, as well as some other mental health conditions like ADHD. And also, as a result of chemotherapy treatment, you can have kind of like that permanent brain fog type feeling. So, management for brain fog, it's going to kind of depend on everybody, but I would say as an overall wellness thing, improving your sleep habits, trying to get that really good night's sleep is super helpful, as well as eating healthy, nutritious meals, things that are going to fuel your brain function, fuel your body, just make you feel good all over. So, getting 30 minutes of physical activity in each day, I tend to call this purposeful movement. So, for me, it's not always on a treadmill. It's not always walking or running or lifting weights or anything like that, but like 30 minutes of purposeful movement. So whether that's cleaning, whether that's doing an activity or something like that, just like 30 minutes of truly dedicated movement time seems to really help. Writing things down that are important so you don't forget them, that's huge. I have sticky notes everywhere. I use notes in my phone. It's super helpful. and making sure to take short breaks when you're doing things throughout the day. So, you know, um, 15, 20 minutes, even 30 minutes. This is recommended at 30 minutes. I know it's not always easy to be able to step away for 30 minutes. So even if you're doing an activity, maybe just step away, take a lap, take a breather, something like that, listen to a good song, a couple songs or something like that. But just giving your body a chance to relax between activities can help you reduce overworking your brain. As well as participating in cognitive behavioral therapy. This is something that is a little more involved. If this is something you feel like you really need extra help on, there are some really great resources out there as far as that goes. Another thing to keep in mind is food, right? So we want to have really good food in our bodies to help with these things. So fatty fish is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which supports brain health and actually reduces inflammation. And then berries, anything packed with antioxidants that combat oxidative stress and inflammation. Leafy greens, these provide essential vitamins and minerals that support cognitive function. Pomegranates, which I didn't know this, help reduce inflammation and promote healthy blood flow. So that was really cool to know. And then blueberries are known for their cognitive and cardiovascular benefits. And so, do these foods not only provide essential nutrients, but they also help maintain a healthy gut microbiome, which is crucial for brain function. I don't know if you've ever heard like your gut to brain health is what it's called. So, which including these meals, getting this diet, you're really supporting better cognitive function and you'll actually feel more energized. When your gut's happy, your brain's happy. So we want to be able to do those things. Other supplements, if you wanted to take these, if you're not getting these in your food, would be vitamin D. This is linked to brain health, which can also help combat that brain fog. Magnesium has also been shown to help with energy production and nerve function. This is a trace mineral. Vitamin C helps improve attention, response time, focus, things like that. Vitamin B12 is crucial for brain function as it can help with memory and mental clarity. And vitamin E promotes healthy brain and minimizing oxidative stress. Omega-3 fatty acids, which if you're not getting it in the fish and you need to supplement it with like a fish oil capsule, this helps improve attention, mood, and even memory. And then what works for me, I do take vitamin D. I also take vitamin C. This helps me for two reasons. This helps with brain function as well as this helps to bind my iron that I take due to my anemia. And then I write everything down, sometimes more than once. It really helps. I do take short breaks, especially when I'm at work. If I'm charting on a patient and I cannot focus anymore, I've read the same line 4 or 5 times. Step away, I walk around, maybe get some fresh air, just change of scenery really helps me out. And then I also take focused peptides. These are a um, peptide from Make Wellness. And this helps with short and long term memory, lessens the eye strain, that's the lutein, which it helps with eye health. And then it also increases delivery of the nutrients across the blood brain barrier. Excuse me, got some tongue twisters today. And so I feel better. I feel like I'm not trying so hard to pay attention. I don't take these all the time. I take them maybe one or two a week. And it just seems to really help with that. And I'm also trying to get more physical activity and things like that. And that seems to have really helped me as well. And so, why this is so important, I put these pictures on here because for several reasons, right? So, as you guys know, I am a nurse, I'm an infusion nurse now. I work with a lot of people with autoimmune and just super frustrating time in their lives. And so, for me, if I don't have mental clarity, if I'm not able to articulate the proper education for these individuals and I'm not able to provide the best care I can, I have lives in my hands. And so for me, that is extremely important. And then for my own sanity is not feeling like I have to open up all these file cabinets in my brain and try to figure out what I was trying to do, right? Being able to have a process that works for me, that is helpful for me and leaves me less frustrated throughout the day. And then I have pictures of my family here. On the far left, I have my husband with my two little girls. And then I have me here on the right with the two girls. And so if I can't be fully present with them, they suffer, right? It's maybe not a life or death situation, but it's definitely something like you don't want your family or your friends to feel like you are just not present in their lives, in your own life, and things like that. So brain fog is something that is super frustrating. People mention it all the time, but nobody really gets into like the nitty gritty of it. And so that is why I wanted to do the episode on this one today. I think it's important. I don't think it's talked about enough, but I'm hoping this opens up the conversation for that. And maybe, even if you're not suffering from lupus, or you don't know, maybe don't know somebody who is, but you feel like maybe you're struggling with this brain fog type thing, I hope this video helps. And I hope maybe you're able to have some resources that you can use to maybe make that easier for yourself. So, as always, thank you guys so much for listening. And I'm so excited to see what we're going to dive into next week. Until next time, thank you.